Welcome to Skate World. In this series, I talk to local skateboarders and what they bring to community, how they've seen the community grow and be nurtured in the years that they've been skateboarding, and also talking specifically about the local skate parks and one in particular, Kenora Courts. Kenora Courts started around 2 years ago. A driven space in Edmonton, a DIY skate park that is welcoming to all. Community members saw an unused space and saw an opportunity to create something there, create something for the whole broader community. So in this series, I talk to the incredible community members who have had skateboarding mean so much to them, and they in turn have offered so much back to the community. So let's take a look at the DIY skate park that is Kenora Courts, and in general, what skateboarders have to say about Edmonton, the growing community here. And I hope that listeners find these stories in Skate World that they really show the growing inclusivity and growing nurturing of different people, different styles. Edmonton is becoming a really special place for skateboarding now. There's community groups that bring women and LGBTQ plus riders together. The interviews will also highlight the exploration of the world of skate culture and the beautiful emblem of friendship, identity, and community that it actively provides. So in this series, I talk to people and I specifically look at Kenora Courts. No matter your skill level, your ability, or your connection with skateboarding, whether you've been skating since the 90s, whether you just picked up a board yesterday, whether you're just admiring the skate photography and community gatherings that happen at these skate parks, everyone's story is important. And I hope that Skate World shows that. So let's jump into today's story.
With skateboarding, I just feel like I can be myself and be around the people that I enjoy the most.
Start with your name and when did you start skateboarding and what inspired you to start skateboarding?
I'm Justina and I started skateboarding. I remember I got my very first skateboard when I was 12 years old, mostly because my brother and I, when we were kids, we had a lot of neighborhood kids that we would hang out with. And I remember there was this one guy who's quite a few years older than us. Like, I think us being like 11 and 12 years old, he was probably like maybe 16 or 17 or 18 maybe. And he was into skateboarding and he was really good. And he had this like rail that he brought out for us and like put it in front of my parents' house, like on the street, because that's where we'd always play. And I just remember him like doing tricks on it and stuff. And my brother and I thought it was the coolest thing ever because we used to ride longboards. And then eventually we were both like, oh my God, we want skateboards. So the most I ever did when I was that young was just riding my skateboard up and down the block. And then after so many years, like, you know, you're going from being a kid playing outside all the time to then like being a teenager, not really hanging outside as much anymore and stuff like that. So I kind of like grew out of playing with stuff like that. And then I worked at Zoomies actually from 2015 to 2017. And I really liked working there. It was really fun. Like we had a good crew going and stuff, but like I hated that I didn't skate. So eventually I was like, you know what? I'm going to start learning how to skate because I work at a skate shop and I don't know how to skateboard.
Did it feel like square one again or?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I think it was summer of 2017. I started skateboarding a lot downtown and just like doing some riding and just getting used to being on a skateboard. And then life kind of went a different direction. So I wasn't really skating for a while. And then finally in summer of 2021, I moved out of my parents' place because previously I was dating someone and then we broke up and then I moved back in with my parents. And then when I moved out into my own apartment, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start doing more for myself. I'm going to start trying to do the things I've always wanted to do and get good at it and stuff. And so then from summer of 2021, I finally like started hanging out with some of my other friends who were big skateboarders. And so I can give credit to Chase and Red because they were the two that kind of helped me get back into like coming to Castle Downs and made me feel comfortable with everybody and everything. So they're like my two friends that really got me back into it, which was really nice. And I'm still close with them now. I don't talk to them as much anymore, but I do know that if I like see them again, nothing would change between us. But yeah, so then from 2021, I kind of just dove right into it and I got really comfortable with everybody at Castle and made a lot of good friends. And yeah, I don't know. And then just seeing how the community was just made me really happy. And I don't know, I just felt like I kind of found my people and I didn't really have to do much to like feel like myself. So yeah, from summer of 2021 and then spring, I was skateboarding a lot too, a lot downtown. And then just over the last few years, I haven't been skating as much as I would like. but every time I think I've lost my ability or my skills and then I like jump on my board, I feel the same as I always have and I land the things that I thought I couldn't. And yeah, I don't know, it's really helped me build a lot of confidence and my personal style and just like, yeah, I don't know, with skateboarding, I just feel like I can be myself and be around the people that I enjoy the most.
Sounds like you've always had a good experience with community and yeah, like meeting those people that make it like
Mhm.
super welcoming and like a fun environment. You're in BC now, and like we were just chatting before, you said there was a skate park built like in the 70s.
Yeah, so crazy.
'Cause I think in this area, I think St. Albert was the first skate park in 98.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty crazy to think.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I know. It's so actually there's a documentary on YouTube about Salem Skate Park. So if anybody wants to check out the details about Salem and North Van, there's a documentary. So I highly recommend everyone check it out because it's really cool to like learn the history of skateboarding in some parts of the world too.
And that's
Yeah.
what, yeah, even with this series, because like it's kind of focused on skateboarding broadly, but then also like Kenora courts. And because, yeah, it's like a DIY court that, as you know,
Mhm.
came about 2 years ago. Let's hope this space exists. But if it doesn't, like this is the community that utilized the space and kind of like grew here and
Mhm.
was nurtured here. And yeah, hopefully can be like sustained in the future.
I hope so too, because it's like, it's really cool because I've heard of so many DIY parks from previous years getting destroyed or like not permitted to be skated anymore and stuff. So it's nice to see that like we have this space in Edmonton of, like a tennis court slash basketball court now that's like, half of it is used for basketball and the other half is used for skating. So it's nice that we can share that communal space and like you said, hopefully it's sustainable in the future and it'll be taken care of and
Yeah, remember when we were last there, that wavy obstacle?
yeah, that was so fun. I really wish I had a chance to like get better at it. For some reason, like every time I'm going through a busy time in my life and I like forget that Kenora is there. But then when I go and I see all the cool obstacles, I'm like, oh my God, why haven't I been coming here and trying them out and like, practicing on them? Because yeah, I would really love to try that thing again. That's a really good ramp. It's so fun. It's almost like a mini version of the one at Capilano.
And yeah, even how you kind of like had a little bit of hesitancy and then you're like, oh, I'm just gonna try it, and then just did so good. And then yesterday I met a couple of riders there. I was like, oh, Justina did that. And like, yeah, she just kind of like rode onto it. And then I think at first you kind of grabbed her board, jumped off. And they were like,
Yeah.
okay, how did she do it? And I was thinking, oh, it'd be so cool if like on the ramps we could have a little like click here to access this video of how like a previous rider like conquered this obstacle.
But yeah,
And then they
that
could see like a little tutorial of you being like, this is, and how you kind of got on.
Yeah, that's actually such a great idea because like you build this thing about Kenora and you're like, hey, this is how this person tried this ramp and this
Yeah,
is how that person tried this
division
ramp. It's like,
there. Yeah.
yeah, it kind of gives people perspective of like different ways to learn how to use each obstacle in the courts and stuff. So that's really cool. I like that idea. One thing I really learned about skateboarding too is like sometimes you just have to like throw yourself into something you're afraid to do. It's like too much thought and you don't do it, or it's like no thoughts and just straight for it. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I think in hindsight, you just have to really know how to bail. And like, if you're feeling scared in a moment of like, this feels sketchy, just jump off your board. And as long as you land on your feet or like you tuck and roll, it's all good.
What advice would you have for new riders or people who are maybe shy to get into it or are into it but want to find that community? What would you tell another person?
I would say don't be afraid to just throw yourself into it, but make sure you have like, if you're afraid to get banged up or like you're afraid to fall, no one's gonna judge you for wearing a helmet or pads or anything like that. And go with people that you trust. Like if you have friends that skateboard, just go with someone that you trust. Or if you're really young, go with your parent. Don't be afraid to be there with your mom or your dad that's willing to like help you learn and stuff like that too. And honestly, like, don't be afraid of talking to skaters as well. I don't think skaters nowadays are as judgmental or rude as they used to be, for sure. I think the community is becoming a lot more accepting. I would say just don't be afraid. Just try your best and just keep practicing once you're into it. And honestly, everybody starts somewhere. Like I started skateboarding at 24, like really skateboarding at 24. I really think that skateboarding keeps people young too. Because if you go to the skate park, you'll see people of all ages there. Like some of the skaters that I know are in their 40s and 50s, and then there's other skaters that I know that are like 16 and 17 years old. So it's like skateboarding really is meant for everybody. So don't feel like you'll ever be judged for starting at a different age or being a different skill level. Like we all start somewhere. So don't let your fear talk you out of doing it.
The last day that I saw you at Kenora Courts, like that was a fun community gathering just out 'cause all those guys
Yeah.
there, we were kind of separate. And then I was doing the documentation work. But yeah, you started talking to them. And like I think
Hmm.
some of them kind of recognized you for social media, but there was nice camaraderie and they were like, oh, it's your last day here. And yeah, I
Hmm.
thought just that was really nice and a good feeling of community coming together and giving you a
Yeah,
send off.
kind of crazy because most of those skaters that were there, except for one of them, I just met for the first time ever. And like it was so cool because like, when we did the little group picture, I'm like, okay, everybody get it. And everybody was like, okay, sure, let's do this. And I just thought it was very wholesome and sweet. And like, yeah, it's just like we all have this common interest of skateboarding. So it's like, why can't we all just make friends and be friends? And yeah, exactly what you said. Like it was such a nice day and such a nice experience. And everybody was like so sweet that day too. Definitely made me feel like the main character that day. So that was really fun.
Now that you're in BC and you've kind of seen a few more skate parks, or as you have like throughout the years, would you say anything like they're special about Nora Courts in Edmonton that kind of makes
Mhm.
it a gem in the community, or anything else about Edmonton skateboarding scene in general?
I think with Kenora Courts, it adds a lot of variety to Edmonton because I feel like in Edmonton, once you kind of get used to like being at St. Albert or being at Castle Downs and Capilano, it's like after that, it's like where else can you go or what else can you do? And I think that Kenora Courts really gives people a chance to, if you prefer flat ground, you have a chance to like play around on some flat ground obstacles, or like if you're just starting out and you're feeling really shy, it's a good place to like just get comfortable with the ramps and get comfortable with like the different curbs and stuff like that that's there. Yeah, oh my gosh. And also the fact that Mars Time and Nine Times, like everyone really is coming together to build these obstacles. It's just like really inspiring to see how a lot of these people will like put the time and effort into creating something special for Edmonton. So I really appreciate that as well. It's cool. It gives Edmonton a little bit more variety, I would say, with their skate park. I think each skate park in Edmonton is special for their own reason. So it's nice that there's something different about all of them. But Kenora Courts is a good one for sure, just because it's different from the rest.
Did you skate McKernan much when you were here?
Oh gosh, no. No, I think I was a little too shy to skate at McKernan just because I felt like the really good white ass skaters go there and stuff like that. Um, Also because the fact, I mean, I guess I did for my first few skate sessions, I guess I did go there to like learn really simple tricks like pop shops and stuff. But yeah, I haven't skated that one for a while. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't give it enough credit or like go enough. And I think maybe it's because I was intimidated by the fact that it's just like this round half bowl thing with like a statue in the middle. So
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how to skate that. I don't know where to begin. So I kind of just stuck to other things I was comfortable with or
Yeah.
things that I knew already. So I think that's probably why.
Yeah, it's cool at the ambush like a few weeks ago or a month ago already. People there with like signs. I was like, oh, what does that even mean? It looked like an inside thing. And it was like McKernan fam. And I was like, oh, wow, there's such even like a little community there that, yeah, maybe it's like white Ave skaters or something, but it's like, oh,
Hmm.
McKernan fam. And they were like cheering each other on.
Aw, that's so sweet.
And someone
Yeah.
else was mentioning maybe that had started as like a little kid's like splash pool like back in the day. And then it kind of
Oh,
became
yeah.
converted into.
Oh, interesting. I guess I never knew about that piece of history with McKernan. So it's really cool to learn that now because, like, yeah, that's a cool thing to convert from a splash pool to like
Yeah.
having an actual mini skate park there.
Anything like you miss about Edmonton or that you cherish with you as you continue your BC journey?
That's a really tough one because for a while I was really not enjoying Edmonton, but I can say I do miss the sense of community there, especially with my friends and everything. And I can give props to Edmonton for like creating their own culture for like skateboarding or like we were talking about earlier, like the vintage markets and stuff like that. Like I feel like it's really become a really good hub for people who are creative in their own ways with skateboarding and fashion. So it's nice to see that kind of migrate maybe from BC to Edmonton. Probably the community though, like, oh my gosh, just being away from my friends and not being able to just be like, hey, want to meet at the skate park? It's like, oh, where is everybody? I wish I could just bring everyone to BC with me. So, yeah, that's probably it. Just missing my friends a lot and just missing the community, like the skate community that we have there and everything. So,
I'm sure as winter hits, people will be messaging you to, can we come stay with you?
oh my gosh, yes, please. I would love anybody to come and visit. I'd be so happy.
Yeah,
Hmm.
now you'll probably have more of an opportunity to skate all year round. Can you skate there?
Yeah.
Probably.
Um, I'm not sure what their winter is like yet. I feel like it's probably going to be raining majority of the time. But so far, like since transitioning from summer to fall here, I have noticed it has been getting a lot more rainy, but we do have some days where it's like fairly dry or like kind of cool. Like right now it's kind of like September skating weather. Like I can show you what our thing looks like right now. It's
Oh, nice.
yeah, so I think it's about 16 degrees
Oh, wow.
out today.
That looks so nice.
Yeah, it's actually the whole weekend has been fairly nice, which is good. During the week it was pretty rainy. So yeah, I'm hoping that maybe we'll get lucky in the future with like a few days where it's like this. Oh, right. And then also Beatrice from Shred Cats, she was telling me that during the winter months on Granville Island, there's that covered skate park. Yeah, it's like in this little gated area on Granville Island. And she was saying that occasionally they'll have like very beginner friendly like events and stuff. And because it's covered, we can actually skate there while the weather isn't so great. So I'm hoping I can take advantage of that when there's events happening and stuff like that. So, but that's all I know so far. I'm not really sure if they have any like really good covered skate parks. I do know there's Plaza, which is underneath one of the bridges, like downtown, kind of near the Science Center. Other than that, I gotta do some more searching and hunting for year-round skating here.
You've already made a few friends that sound like they know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I met all majority of them yesterday. So now I'm just waiting to hear about like what events or group meetings they're gonna have. So hopefully I can go and make more friends too.
Anything else you want to say about community in general or your hopes for Edmonton in the future?
Yeah, I just hope that the groups that we have there and the community that has been built there gets bigger. I mean, the Tiger Skate Club have been doing a really great job of having inclusive meets and events and stuff like that. And I really love seeing that. So I just hope that more and more people just become less afraid to learn how to skateboard and to get out there and yeah, keep doing what they like. And anybody who's interested in skateboarding or interested in learning, don't be afraid to just jump in there and talk to people. And, I'm sure everyone has a little bit of advice to give. Everyone's really accepting now. So it's really awesome that we have this community there.
Thanks so much for your time today, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
I hope these Skate World interviews serve as an inspiration point of how you can get involved in your community, have a great idea, small or big, and just take the steps to make it happen. Again, whether you've been skateboarding for a day or many, many years, your story is very important, and thank you to everyone who shared. Thank you to the Edmonton Heritage Council for supporting this podcast series. Skate World looks at a local DIY skate park that is very important in the community. Thank you for realizing these stories are important to tell. I hope this series offers you creativity, inspiration, and a sense of community connection.